This. If you're hoping to squeeze in some backcountry skiing before the new year, this weekend is not the time to do it. Several areas across the high country are at a moderate to considerable risk for avalanches. The Colorado Avalanche Information Center says conditions could become more dangerous tonight into tomorrow. And of course, our friend Carl Lamb is tracking it all. Carl.
There's a lot to get through this morning. Good morning to you. And again, we're starting with some snow that we saw at Wolf Creek. And again, it's not too intense right now, but it does get steadier as we go through the afternoon. So we're going to be watching that very closely. But right now, again, all that snow is really out towards Idaho Springs. Not much in the way of anything around Denver for us. So that's good news. Now, as we kind of walk you through what's going on, the winter weather advisories for anyone highlighted in blue here, this will begin at 2 o'clock today. So the road conditions will start to deteriorate as we go throughout our Friday, the second half of our Friday, really. Winter storm warnings in place beginning at noon for areas in Steamboat Springs and the areas highlighted in red here. And then again, as we just mentioned, that avalanche watch beginning 5 o'clock tonight until 5 o'clock Monday. And these areas, just because of how windy it is and just, you know, the layers of snow will just come rushing off. So it is actually a high potential for avalanches. So definitely keep that in mind if you're headed to the mountains, because it could be very dangerous. Now, fog advisories also for areas out towards Eads and Kit Carson as well. A lot to shuffle through this morning, but we'll have an update on that 7-day forecast coming up in a little bit. Back to you.
Carl, thank you. We want to get you out the door right now. It is 6:01. Couple different live looks here. Left-hand side of your screen, I-70 in the Frisco area. Looks like we've got someone pulled off in the shoulder, kind of taking a break. Snow has been falling overnight, and we're seeing that dusting, a little bit of accumulation on our high country interstates this morning. Volume is light though, so that's a blessing. Right hand side of the screen, 225 Parker Road. Dry, quiet in the metro, a much different look than the mountains. We do want to take you over now to our map. I've got a good news update. CDOT just cleared that closure we were dealing with since much earlier this morning. Eastbound I-70 back open between Vail and Vail Pass. We're still seeing the purple on the map. Our map just still hasn't fully updated, but it is back open. That's what our reports are saying from CDOT. We also have a stalled vehicle this morning, our newest problem. Eastbound I-70, it's between Silverthorne and Loveland Pass. We do have a right lane closed. I want to zoom out and just kind of give you a bigger picture of the I-70 mountain corridor. I want to let you know as well, we do have active chain and traction laws from about between Georgetown to Vail, as well as along Loveland Pass. So just give yourself some extra time. Westbound I-70 in the metro, though, looking great. We're in the green between E470 and 76. Today, DIA is bracing for what it thinks could be the busiest day of the holiday travel period as tens of thousands of people make their way home. This morning, 9 News reporter Brianna Fernandez is at DIA live to keep an eye on things. Brianna, any delays or cancellations this morning?
Yeah, I actually just checked. The last 5 minutes, it was at 44 delays, and that jumped up within the last 5 minutes. Now we're looking at 82 delays and 8 cancellations. So definitely check with your airline if maybe you have one of those flights that's either delayed or canceled. I want you to take a look over my shoulder. This is what South Security here at Denver International Airport looks like right now. Very, very quiet compared to those check-in counter lines that we were showing you at Delta just an hour ago. I just checked those lines also. They were pretty slow this morning. So again, definitely come to the airport just a tad bit earlier this morning, especially with the holiday rush. And keep in mind with the holiday rush, there's also going to be peak times at security checkpoints. So those times usually vary, but peak times here at DIA are from 3 to 4:30 a.m. So we already missed that window slot. Then you have 7 to 9, so the next hour or so, and then 3 to 5 p.m. And remember, TSA is no longer screening at bridge security. Today, DIA anticipates it will be the busiest day. Airport officials have estimated more than 83,000 people will go through TSA. But it sounds a lot like what we did, what we saw, I should say, with over the summer here at DIA. Those numbers were just a tad bit higher as well. And if you're coming to the airport soon, here's what those security wait times look like right now. So I just refreshed that page. If you're taking South Security, you're only waiting 11 minutes. If you're taking West Security checkpoint, that is only going to be a 4-minute wait. So back out here live, you can see not much going on with that holiday rush. It keeps changing from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. But again, we're going to hit those peak times here in just an hour hour or so at 7, so from 7 to 9 a.m. And hey, if you're coming to the airport just a tad bit early and you have some time, there's actually a new holiday pop-up here at Denver International Airport. It's the first time that they're doing this holiday pop-up, so you're going to see festive drinks, also some food, so definitely check it out. You can check that out at Concourse B. For now, I'm live here in Denver. Brianna Fernandez for 9 News.
So another excuse to get there a little bit earlier, right, Brianna? Thank you so much.
Right now, police are investigating what led up to a person being hit and killed by a train. This happened just after 2 o'clock in the afternoon yesterday near Ellsworth and Rio Grande Boulevard. Once we learn more from police, we will update you on air and online.
Right now, 3 deputies in northwest Colorado are recovering after they were hurt during a high-speed chase. The Moffat County Sheriff's Office says this all started when an officer with the Craig Police Department tried to pull over a pickup truck yesterday morning. They believe that truck was involved in a gas theft from a gas station. The driver did not stop. Eventually, deputies joined in on the chase. The sheriff's office says the driver sideswiped a patrol car and crashed into another. Deputies eventually arrested the driver. The sheriff's office says all 3 deputies suffered minor injuries. They've all been released from the hospital.
Right now, several areas in Yemen are recovering from a series of Israeli airstrikes against the Houthis. The terrorist group says the strikes killed at least 6 people and hurt dozens more. They hit 2 power stations, ports, and the airport in the country's capital city. The Israeli military claims the Houthis used those areas for military activities. The Houthis have vowed to retaliate in response to the attack.
The strike hit the airport just before a UN delegation was set to fly out. That group was led by the World Health Organization's Director General. The WHO says he and his team were just a few meters away from the blast, but they weren't hurt. The team was in Yemen to negotiate the release of detained UN staff and to assess the health and humanitarian situation in the country.
Authorities in Finland have seized an oil tanker they believe damaged underwater cables in the Baltic Sea, causing power and internet outages in 2 countries. The Finnish Coast Guard boarded the tanker yesterday. They believe the ship cut an underwater power line and several internet cables connected between Finland and Estonia. Authorities also believe this tanker is part of a so-called shadow fleet that's helping Russia avoid Western sanctions.
The woman accusing JayZ of raping her when she was a teenager will stay anonymous for now. A judge denied his lawyer's request to identify the accuser this week. The anonymous woman is suing JayZ, alleging she was just 13 years old when he and Sean Diddy Combs raped her at a VMA's after-party in the year 2000. Both JayZ and Combs have denied the claims. The judge said she'll revisit the decision as soon as the case progresses.
President-elect Donald Trump's pick for border czar wants to bring back family detention centers. Trump has vowed to start carrying out mass deportations on his first day back in office. He said they'll start here in Colorado. He's calling it Operation Aurora. He wants to put his former acting ICE director, Tom Homan, at the forefront. He says he'll reinstate policies that allow families to be held in detention centers. Homan also says the incoming Trump administration will remove parents who don't have proper documentation, even if their children are U.S. citizens.
The parents going to have to make a decision. That's parenting 101. I'm going to say it again. If you choose to have a child here in the United States while you know you're here illegally and you know you're on a court order to deport, that's on you.
Homan says a decades-old agreement prohibiting the detention of children for more than 20 days needs to be looked at again and potentially changed.
Top Canadian officials were back in Palm Beach, Florida last night to talk trade and border security with President-elect Donald Trump. The Associated Press reports Canada's Finance Minister Dominic LeBlanc and Foreign Minister Melanie Joly made the trip down. A spokesman said both of them wanted to build on the discussions between Trump and Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau last month. Last week, LeBlanc said he would meet with Tom Homan after Christmas to talk about the country's plan to secure the border as part of a bid to avoid Trump's threats of sweeping tariffs.
First-time unemployment filing stayed steady last week, but the number of ongoing claims hit a 3-year high. This is according to a new report from the U.S. Department of Labor. 219,000 people filed for unemployment for the first time last week. That's 1,000 less than the week before. The number of people receiving ongoing jobless benefits rose to more than $1.9 million. That's 46,000 more people than the week prior. Ongoing claims haven't been this high since November 2021.